Hello and welcome to Meeple Mentor Reviews. I'm Jared and with me is Holly. And today we are reviewing TenTricks. All right, this is a Kickstarter game that is funded and in the process of production. This is from Andrés Saldeño, and it's primarily a polyomino Tetris type of game. And so I think the sound of TenTricks was meant to sound kind of like Tetris, right? TenTricks, Tetris.
That makes sense.
I think that's what they were going with. There is some, sort of underlying plot here of, it's like the cyber future and there's some things going on. But like, aside from the story or setting, it's essentially a Tetris multiplayer game where you can affect other players by doing well. There's a ton, I'd say there's 10 different kinds of powers, like tokens that you can draw out of a bag. And when you gain one, you can kind of store up to 3 or 4 at a time and use them, either for boosting yourself, some of them, or hurting an opponent, others, and some kind of a little bit of both. So I think that's really the crux of kind of what makes this pretty unique as far as like a polyomino Tetris-y style game. But we played it a couple times. What did you think?
I liked it. You know me. I love anything with polyominoes. Like anything that has a Tetris vibe, I'm all over it. I really like the, let's call them power-up tokens. That allow you to have effects on other players. One thing that should be noted, though, is there's a section on the board that if you are currently affected by one of these tokens, you cannot be the target of one by someone else. So I like that as well. So One player doesn't get picked on. There's, diversification, let's call it.
So I'm just kind of holding up some of the components since I know this is a prototype that we're playing with. But the components are pretty nice. This is a dual layered board intended, everyone's got one like this. You put your power tokens up here. Down here is if someone has afflicted you with some power token, then it goes down here, and no one else can afflict you with anything for that round, and they'll wipe at the beginning of the next round. There's also ways to reserve a piece. So if you do a Tetris basically where you've cleared 3 or 4 rows at a time, you get to collect a piece of your choice and put it here, and that's what you get to play with next round. Because otherwise you're gonna draw a card, and the card has any number of the Tetris polyomino pieces, and that's what you have to place. Whenever you clear a number of rows, like every row will increase your bar, so the bar kind of fits up here, but it starts somewhere right there in the middle. Every time you clear a row, it goes up. There's a next level card in the deck that whenever anyone reveals it, everybody has to drop their bar down. And if any time one of the polyomino pieces like runs out and there's no more of those in the stock and you have to draw one, then everybody also goes down one that way. Also printed on the board are these little spaces here for the power tokens. So if you cover up a power token space, then you get to draw from the bag of tokens. And that's really a big way of how you get these power tokens, as well as, doing 3 and 4 rows cleared at a time. But you play until somebody is the last person standing, just like regular Tetris. If you kind of get the bar to overlap on any of your pieces, then, you're out. And that's pretty much it for you. So you're trying to make more, make other players draw more Tetris pieces and be forced to play more, or, various different things. And you can play tokens to copy what an opponent just played so that you can maybe get the better piece.
I believe there's also a power-up where you can place that person's piece, which can be fun.
Yeah, actually placing it on their board for them.
Right.
To really mess them up. And a lot of this is reminiscent of kind of like the default stuff that happens in like Tetris in the video game, where, you clear something and then they add like, some extra piece that they can't get rid of, and it's just messed them up now. And so I think that's cool, the way they replicate that in the game. The pieces themselves, they kind of have this cyber, I don't know, IT, computer wires and things.
Silicon Valley look.
Yeah. So, it's pretty cool. I know, like I said, there is some theme to it that pretty much for the most part gets lost in the gameplay. It's pretty much just all about an abstract type of game. But I think
there are lots of great games where the theme gets lost in the gameplay.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I do appreciate the effort to kind of infuse it with theme. But I think for the most part, you're going to like this because the game is like Tetris and because you want to play a game like that where you can have abilities. And, that's really what this is. It's like multiplayer Tetris with abilities and with ways to affect your opponent and often take that kind of ways. So,
which I don't normally like.
It's true.
But I did enjoy it.
You did like it.
Yeah.
I will say I also don't prefer games that have take that, but this one I kind of make an exception for. I think partly is I really like polyomino games like she does. And the other reason is the game doesn't play very long. It doesn't take too long to...
So it's not like you're in misery. Even if you're losing, you're not in misery.
It's kind of one of the main objectives of the game, just like chess. I mean, you can call chess a take that game, but I mean, it's not, right? That's sort of the goal. So I think they do it really well and quick enough that someone like myself who doesn't normally appreciate games where you can have take that's, this one does it in a really interesting way and not too devastating. There's always some way that you can come back from it. So it offers some really good competition and interesting gameplay. Yeah, I think it's pretty fun.
I agree. I really liked it. It was a good time.
Yeah. So I recommend you check it out if you like polyomino games. And I believe, like I said, since it funded on Kickstarter, it'll come out within a year probably. So keep an eye out for it. But that's our review. And so stick around on our channel to see more reviews and to see news and tutorials and much more content. So subscribe and do all the stuff. Until the next video, I've been Jared.
I'm Holly.
I'll see you around.